The tongues spoken today in Pentecostal churches, are those the same that were spoken in Acts? I think it's easy to say that they're not. I mean, it seems obvious that they're not. I don't know anyone that speaks in tongues that speaks the language they didn't know, and that there's people around that are hearing about the glory of God from it. People have like a prayer language or something. This would be a more difficult question if someone said something like that. But if the question is, are the tongues spoken today the same as those spoken at Pentecost? No. They're not, because the ones spoken at Pentecost, everyone from all over the world was hearing the gospel in the language they understood. So I would believe it 100% if you traveled to Russia and didn't know any Russian, and the Lord gave you the ability to speak and understand Russian without having learned it. Then it's like, yeah, tongues.
So as you saw here from this video, some people argue that tongues today are not real because in Acts 2, people heard their own languages being spoken. And since we don't normally see that happening now, that must mean tongues are false today. But that argument assumes that Acts 2 was setting a universal rule for how tongues must function every time. It wasn't. Acts 2 was a public, redemptive moment. Jerusalem was filled with the Jews from many nations. The Spirit fell and the sign matched the setting. Known languages were heard because known languages were needed. But if you keep reading Acts, in Acts 10, Cornelius' household speaks with tongues, and there's no list of dialects, no multinational crowd that's verifying the languages spoken, yet Peter says it was the same gift at Pentecost. In Acts 19, the Ephesian believers speak with tongues and prophesy. Again, there's no indication that anyone present identified foreign languages. So Acts itself shows that tongues are not dependent on natural recognition. Then, looking later, Paul adds clarity in 1 Corinthians 14 when he says, "He that speaketh in a tongue speaketh not unto men, but unto God, and no man understandeth him." So if tongues was always meant to be understood by someone present, Paul's teaching makes zero sense. Why regulate interpretation if understanding is designed to be automatic? Acts 2 proves that tongues can be understood. Acts 10 and 19 prove they don't have to be, and Corinthians explains why. So the New Testament doesn't narrow the gift to one moment in Jerusalem. It defines it across multiple settings, and when you let the texts speak together, the objection loses its force.